everybody, it's Jennifer, and I'm going to be, well, first I guess I should say that this is, for all intents and purposes, video number 1 for me, and obviously on some level it's a bit of a test to make sure that I have my camera set up properly, in focus, you can see it too, blah blah. So anyhow, what I'm working on today is Jenny Frith's Gratitude 52 Art Journaling Challenge for 2016, and it just so happens that she just announced week 16 today. And the one that I'm working on right now is actually week 15 that I didn't get finished up yet because I was hoping to video it. And on a most unusual note, I did this video, no, not the video, but this journal entry a great deal differently than I ordinarily do. I chose at the beginning of the year this little art journal, and I've been using it almost exclusively for my Gratitude 52 journaling, and there are a couple of other things in here, but not much. So I'll just show you real quick. This was week 1, and I don't remember the prompt. Oh, it's your favorite quote. Woohoo! Go Jennifer. And then, what else have we got here? This is not, and this is not. This is the pears from Cinnamon Cooney's art challenge. I don't know, I can't think of what hers is called either. I'm drawing a blank on all of it. So this is week 2. It was, the title, the prompt if you will, was friendship. And let's see what else we have here. Nothing. This was week 3, and the prompt is my favorite supplies, art supplies. Basically illustrate the art supplies that you're thankful for, the ability to create art, blah blah. Okay, so this is week 4, and the prompt was to show your gratitude for the shelter that you have. And let's see here, week 5 was books. That was Super Bowl. Okay, this one was week 6, which I think the prompt was love. This one is week 7, the prompt was music. So I must have jumped around a little bit. Yes, I know I did, because I had this blank page at that time. So this is week 8, and the prompt was role model. And then week 9, and the prompt was shoes. And week 10, and the prompt was clean water. That is not a prompt. Okay, so week 10, and then we go back here for week 11, which was spring flowers. And then we go to week 12, and the prompt was sunshine. That's a tough one for me because sunshine and I are not friends. I am a mushroom, not a flower. But anyhow, you have to have sunshine along with your rain to make rainbows. Blah blah. Okay, so let's see, week 13, the prompt was worship. Now, did I booger this up? 13. So this must be 14, and this one is 15. Yes, I did. I put the wrong date on here. I'll double check on this later. But anyhow, my point was to show you where we are in the process, and I'll put a link to Jenny's Gratitude 52 art journaling project on her website so that you can go check it out. And this page, I just did a one page spread on this one, and I likely will come back at some point and fill in this one like I did previously. But for this one, I needed a full spread. And the prompt for this one, which actually is week 15, 14, 15, yeah. It was, the prompt was to show your gratitude for basically the ability to purchase things that you need on credit. Sorry about that, it's my phone. Don't always think that the ability to purchase things on credit is a blessing, because you absolutely have to know how to limit yourself, and you also have to have the will and the ability to pay it off before you go to debtor's prison. I don't have those abilities, therefore I don't have credit cards. However, my love bug does. And our most recent purchase with his credit card was a new sofa for our living room and new living room flooring. And the fact that this is on paper, yes, it is a print, is that I've never done this before in the 2 years of gratitude and Bible art journaling. But I actually did this sketch, and then this journal entry is on paper because for the first time ever, and I do not know what I was thinking, but I wound up doing my art for the prompt 15 in my regular sketch pad. So what I did was scan this and then print it, and I'm going to cut this and paste it into my gratitude journal for this week's prompt. So that's what I'm doing, and here we go. Add just a tiny bit of purple, green, just a little bit of glycerin to these puddles, and then reactivate them with a little bit of water. And the glycerin, all that does is, as Lindsay Wyrick would say, just makes your water wetter. And it brings these tube watercolors that I use back to life really beautifully, like they were never dried up. And there's a little bit of brown here on the side that I seem to be dragging in, and it's just making my pretty dark green just a little bit darker, which is fine. And I guess I'll gussy up the blue too. This hands down is one of the coolest tricks that I've learned since beginning watercoloring, which actually I've only been doing this for 3 years. 2.5, 3 years. So anyhow, very handy, very, very, very handy. It's just, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Just some drops of glycerin. This is plain old household glycerin. Is just work on my background a little bit. And I have these little hunks of cut up pocket folder that I put under my page to prevent any contamination of the next and previous pages. And so here we go, background. And I thought what I would do is just play with some color while it's nice and wet. I've had to be really, really super careful with this particular journal. In the crease where the binding is sewn, because it doesn't hold up very good, and have consequently had pages try to fall out because the center area was so damaged that the page just wanted to pull right out. Very frustrating. So what I started doing pretty early on in the use of this particular book was not only a little bit more heavily gessoing in the crease here, but also gluing pages together to double up the durability of each page. This particular sketchbook I actually won't ever do again. If you really are just sketching, it's fine. But if the medium that you typically work with is in any way, shape, or form wet, or even my pip pens and oh my soul, my pip pens and my even just Sharpie markers want to bleed right through. Now gesso helps, but doubling up the pages and gessoing has enabled them to be much more resilient to the types of things that I typically put on my pages. So you do what you gotta do. Definitely will decrease the number of pages for this year's journal, close to in half, but I'm alright with that. So I'm not damaging previous work. And not ruining future pages. So, alright, the next thing I'm going to do is drop with a pipette. This is just a squirt bottle of garden variety household alcohol. And usually I have it on a squirt bottle, but this time I want a little bit bigger drops. And I'm just gonna drop that over my page. And I want to get the edges really good because a good deal of this surface is going to be under my couch. Yeah, so very pretty. I'm just going to dry this real quick and I'll be right back. The next thing I'm going to do, my surface is almost completely dry, not absolutely. Around the edges it's still a tiny bit wet, which I'm going to just tap a little bit of that ever so slightly. And now I'm going to go back over. With some of my green. And typically I wouldn't really use this dark of a green. My signature color is more of the, what you see on the palette right here, more of a lime green, but because my sofa is lime green, which in actuality my new sofa is actually a sage green, which is very pretty for a sofa, but not a typical color that I would use in my art. And I am going to do smaller drips of alcohol this time, and don't love it. It's green, but it serves my purpose. Okay, just a little bit more water for the sake of the effect of the alcohol. And then squid. Let that run just a little bit. And I will dry this page again and be right back. Okay, so it's dry. Again, there's a little bit of steamy spots around the edges that aren't, and I am blotting those up because I don't want the extra dark color of the last little bits of petals. And I think it looks pretty good. Looks kind of marble. Oops. Oh, I just made my little clip naked. No. Get your clothes back on. Sorry, buddy. I'm just pushing the color underneath the spot where my little clip was. So this is good. I'm happy with this. And the next thing I'm going to do is move my palette out of the way and bring paper in and get an idea size-wise. And give this a haircut. I'm not sure how much I need to cut off just yet. I am using some patterned scissors, just, I don't know, because I can, I guess, which, they're squeaky. Nothing a little shot of WD-40 won't fix. Oh, they like new now. Okay. Much better. Don't sound like somebody's screen door opening and closing. Obviously, I'm trimming this way bigger than I'm actually going to need, so that I don't wind up cutting too much. This goes in my little recycling box. And here's what we have. Now I do want to include some of the flooring because that was kind of part of the dealio. Was the new flooring. So what I'll do is just trim a tiny bit at the bottom and then trim some of this wall up here, which my walls have a tendency to look like sky. It looks like it's sitting on a, well, it looks like my sofa's sitting on a pier out into the ocean, and I'm okay with that. I guess the wave patterned scissors are appropriate for that look as well. So I waited a really long time for new flooring and a new sofa. Gosh, it's been a long time. The sofa that went away was purchased, oh my gosh, back in 2000 or 2001, and it was a sofa bed, so it was really more of a boat anchor than it was a sofa. It was so heavy, and the bed was so uncomfortable that we literally hadn't used it in years. I wouldn't subject somebody that I love to sleeping on that sofa bed, so we just never pulled it out anymore. And it had just languished, filling up with stray bits of French fry and dog food and socks and dirt, and oh my gosh, it was so full of decades worth of munge. And we literally had to take a saw to it to get it out of the house in pieces, which was quite pleasurable. There you are, darling. Now you will fit. I do not totally love that edge. Okay, and then the other thing I'm going to do is fold it roughly in half. Yep, that'll work. And then cut it in half. As I've been thinking about this page, I felt in my mind's eye that cutting it like this would be the best way to go. Hang on a minute. A very unusual incoming phone call, but I thought I had better take because this particular person never ever calls my phone. I was worried there might be a problem, but there's not. Everything's fine. And okay, so back to half a sofa, and I am gonna scoot it as close into the center as I can when I glue it. So I guess I will just start with one side at a time, and I'm also going to start with glue stick before I gesso over the page. So I'm going to slide my book out of the way a little and glue over here so I can get it all the way out to the edges. No idea what my animals are yelling about. Can you see? Yes. Okay, so just sticking that down with glue stick, and like I showed you, quite close to the corner, which on this side obviously I'm not going to be able to go quite that far over, but my pages are dry. You would think that Charles Manson was out there trying to get in the yard. Otherwise she's acting. And I happen to know that there's nobody here because I'm sitting at a window where I can see where people come and go. And not only do I not see Charles Manson or Chester the Molester or anybody else, I don't even see a kid on a skateboard, so I almost guarantee you it's a cat. And since cats don't actually make me fear for my life, I'm going to ignore her. It's her house and she's doing her job, trying to protect us from the evils, or the perceived evils. Delilah. Chill, Buttercup. Okay, so glued down. I'm going to put my little hunks of stuff back in here while I gesso. And why are you yelling? There's my gesso. I'm using Art Basics Clear gesso, and I really love this stuff. It dries very smooth, not super textury. Hang on a minute. As I was saying, Art Basics, clear gesso, love it. A little expensive. And it's going quick. I must use it a lot. And that's messy, but whatever. So, gesso. And I did not think to test this ahead of time to see if this was going to smear. So I'm going to do it over here. Nope, we're all good. I was worried that that would smear the ink on the printer paper, but it seems to be fine. And the little bits that are poking up, and just slide a little bit of gesso under there. And right down the center here. There we go. Lay down. If it doesn't want to lay down on its own or with the brush, don't be afraid to use your finger and make it lay down. Because it's regular printer paper, it's going to want to, there we go, it's going to want to pucker up. Like I said before, this is the first time I've ever needed to glue one of my gratitude journal entries into my book. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I wasn't thinking. I did this, oh gosh, over a week ago, and at first I was sick. I had been really sick, kind of a tummy flu thing, and then right directly after that, my Delilah, my most precious Delilah, got sick. Oh yeah, because I did this on a, well, most likely on a Friday, because that's when Jenny puts out her new prompts every Friday. And it's called Gratitude 52 because she does a new prompt every week.